Today, we're gonna have a quick, informal, opinion-based chat about 240Hz, which is the new my number's bigger than yours of display technologies, and we're gonna see who it's for and who should actually care about it. Now I want to start off this video by saying I was initially as skeptical of 240Hz monitors as I am of like a midnight gas station pie. But after doing some blind tests in a video with Anna, we concluded that there is a perceptible difference between 144Hz and 240Hz. If you haven't seen that video, I would recommend to go check it out because we explain all of this in more detail. But yeah, there's not a huge difference, but there is a difference. And going further than that, this monitor, I think it's the combination of the low input lag, the low response times, and maybe the image processing that the monitor uses, but even 60Hz on this monitor is exceptionally smooth. I mistook 60Hz on this monitor for 120Hz, which is pretty crazy. That doesn't happen too easily. And the combination of the really high refresh rate, which gives you super smooth gameplay, with a very color accurate IPS display, means the visuals on this monitor is amazing. And yeah, just like that, there we go, case closed. 240Hz looks amazing, even at 60Hz, if that makes any sense. And if we're a gamer who can afford it, we should run out right now and buy one of these monitors. But it's not really as simple as that. There are a couple of caveats to these 240Hz monitors. The first one is because they're a new and exciting technology, they're very expensive. This ViewSonic Elite monitor with its 27-inch 1080p 240Hz IPS display costs over $500 US. And that puts it in competition with a bunch of monitors that have some other features that make them a bit more worthwhile at this price point for the majority of gamers, in my opinion. And then the second caveat is the fact that unless you're playing esports titles like CSGO, you're not going to be able to run modern games at 240 frames per second. Even if you have like an RTX Zeus Poseidon in your system, it's going to struggle to get even 140 frames per second average on this display, so you're not going to get the benefit of that extra refresh rate that you're paying for. So with that, I'm going to do a bit of an opinion-based pros and cons list for 240Hz monitors so that you can have a bit of an idea, and hopefully that'll help you decide which to get. Okay, now I'm going to try and be as brief as possible when it comes to this opinion-based pros and cons list for 240Hz monitors. Now, if you're an esports gamer that plays primarily stuff like CSGO competitively, I think if you can afford a 240Hz gaming monitor, it's pretty much a no-brainer. Games like CSGO can easily run at 240 frames per second plus on any decent modern system, and you'll definitely benefit from the extra speed and the extra smoothness. However, if you play pretty much any other game, I don't think you really need to bother with 240Hz. What I do is I just save my money, and for like $300, which is pretty much half what this monitor costs, you can get a good 1080p IPS 144Hz gaming display, which will give you a very similar experience to this. A little bit less smooth, but it's not going to make that big a difference. It's going to be much easier on your wallet, and you're going to be happy all day long. Use that extra money that you saved on investments or a new dog, or just save it. Be responsible financially. However, if you do want the best of the best for gaming and you have a lot of money to spend on your gaming PC, in this $500 to $600 budget, I'd actually recommend going with 165Hz 1440p monitor instead. Because in my opinion, going from 1080p to 1440p on a 27-inch monitor visually is a bigger improvement than going from 144 or 165Hz to 240Hz. So that is a better buy in my opinion. Now, if you want more details on 1080p versus 1440p at 27-inch, I did a dedicated video on that, so you can check that out linked in the description below. But if you're like a baller gamer, I also wouldn't recommend 240Hz unless you play competitive esports titles. Now, I know that Samsung recently released a 1440p 240Hz monitor, and that really is the best of both worlds because you can still run your competitive esports titles at 240 frames per second plus, but you also get that extra visual fidelity of going from 1080p to 1440p for all of the other games, and then the really good motion processing of these very high-end gaming monitors. So that's if you want to spend a buttload of money. But bear in mind, most games that aren't esports titles cap out at like 120 frames per second. A game like Escape from Tarkov, the highest frame limit you can set is 120 frames per second. For most gamers, 240 Hz is not really worth the extra expenditure. I'd rather spend more money getting better other aspects of a monitor, because 144 Hz is already very impressive. And with that, it brings me to the end of a fairly short video. This is just to put my thoughts out there about 240Hz gaming monitors. Let me know in the comment section below if you have a different opinion or if you agree with me about buying this kind of high-end gaming display. So with that, if you liked the video, like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. And I recently launched a Patreon page. So if you want to support the channel and help me buy more stuff to do cool videos on, I would really appreciate that. I have it linked in the description below. And yeah, with that, until the next video, bye-bye.